What's up, people? I think I'm doing more videos this time because this is around the same time, excuse me, that I started doing videos when I first started in 2013. But YouTube been changing up so much since the last, over the years, because YouTube been around for a long time now. I mean, I wouldn't say a long, very, very long time. It ain't like it's been around for decades. It's still new. I'd say about like 12 years or something like that. But I'm trying to find somewhere I can set this camera up a little bit more. I want to talk about some shit that pisses me the hell off. I really do. Um, I want to talk about the Caucasian people and how they do things, how they are, some things and how they are unjust. Because like they don't want you to really address the things in the way that you're supposed to address it. Basically, what they want you to do, because YouTube is owned by a evil genetic, it's an evil empire that controls this, and you cannot say what you want to say on YouTube. You just can't, because let me tell you how they are. The so-called white, the Caucasian people, I call them. We know when you say Caucasian or when you say so-called white, we know who that's what that's a race of people. And if y'all don't mind, what I would like to do, I would like to show y'all in the Bible the biblical name, what God calls them in the Bible. I want to show y'all what God, I want to do my best to break it down and show you what he calls them in the Bible. What does the God, because see, we say white. Where did white come from? Where did, like you think about Caucasian. Let's look at Genesis 25 and verse 20 and 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So when it says they call his name Esau, they talking about when the Caucasian, when during this time, this was a prophecy, when this was a prophecy that was given, this was the beginning birth of the Caucasian race. And we have to understand when it says, then came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And the Bible said his name was called Jacob. And we know later on that name Jacob was changed to Israel, which means overcome. It means Israel is another name for a name that applies to a chosen people called the nation of Israel, which would be the descendants of the forefathers of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is the forefathers of the Jews, are the forefathers of the children of Israel, known today as like the people of Jacob is known for the people of today, which is known in modern day time, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people are descendants of the tribes, the real biblical tribe. I'm just showing y'all the names that what God calls the Caucasian. See, today we say Caucasian. You see what I'm saying? We know that's modern day technology for the so-called, we know who that is. Anybody knows when you mention Caucasian, we all know, we'll say the people, the white people today, known as the people who are in the White House, right? When you say things like Esau, now, according to God, that's the biblical name for the progenitor of the white race. That's where the white race begins. Right here in Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 25, where it says, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, meaning that the so-called, that's the color of the so-called white man. You never seen a person white this color. You see what I'm saying? If you look at them, they red. That's according to the Bible. Those are literally not my words. Let me go back over and let me read it. It says, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they call his name Esau. Esau is real hairy all over. You know what I mean? For the most part, we know that Esau is hairy. Now, of course, you may have some of us have hair on certain parts of our body parts and stuff like that and things of that nature for the most part. But because of the mixing and stuff, but whatever your father is, that's what you are, then we have a mixture of a little, because of the DNA or whatever and things of that nature. We know that, you know what I'm saying. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Let me move on. Let's read this here. Genesis 27 and verses, hold on, I might be reading it wrong. Genesis 27 and verses 38. And Esau said unto his brother, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing from my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac and his father sware and said unto him, behold, thy dwellers shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword, that's the key word, and verse 40, Genesis chapter 27 and verse 40, and by thy sword shall thou live, and shall serve thy brother. See, this is when Esau came in rulership, the so-called white man. And by thy sword shall thou live. Who kills? And see, we know the modern day sword today is known as the gun. Who have military mights and all that. And I'm gonna get more off into that. And thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of my mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. You see what I'm saying? See, we're in the possession of Esau right now. You remember when it says, by thy sword shall thou serve thy brother? Meaning that the modern day sword is known as the gun today. So who are ruling the earth today? The so-called, the people that we call the Caucasian people are white people, right? So that was the biblical name for that. So right now I wanted to go through something else. I tell you what, let's see what the name Israel means. What does the name Israel means?
According to behind the name, from the Hebrew name, contends from the roots, meaning to contend, to fight, and meaning God.
Okay, Israel, the name given to the patriarch Jacob after he successfully wrestled with the angel. It is a combination of two Hebrew words. It means will / can struggle, rule with God in recognition of Jacob's ability to hold his own with an angel of God. What is the meaning of Jacob and Israel? Jacob then demanded the blessing, and being declared in Genesis 32 and 28. From then on, Jacob would be called Israel, Yahweh, meaning one that struggled with divine angel. Joseph's one who has prevailed with God. A man seeing God. Western, he will rule as God's strong R.A. whatever. Okay, they didn't put all the right in there. But the word Jacob, that the name Jacob, how the name Israel became about, is when the angel of God descended up on the ladder, and Jacob wrestled with the angel of the Most High God. And so that's how the name Israel became. Let's see here. Who is Jacob?
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. Jacob is regarded as a patriarch of the Israelites and so is an important figure in Abrahamic religions.
They always got some religion in here. Yeah, see, Jacob is the patriarch. Jacob is the father of the 12 patriarchs that is the granddaddy or the progenitor of the Jews. You see what I'm saying? So it's something that I'm leaving out. But since right now I can't think of it, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about this thing called, like, here's how white people are today. They, as long as you sitting up talking about your own people, if I'm sitting up right here now blasting and busting my own people up, putting them under the bus and busting them and just paralyzing my people with negative information and stuff, the so-called white man will not send nothing saying that your channel has a strike on it. The truth of the matter is that that's how they are. You see what I'm saying? They will as long as you talking against your own color, they got no problem with your video. Your channel will stay up for years. As long as you on here cooning for them. Now I don't know if they will try to put a strike on this. I don't know if they would mess with it for me. Then if they do that, that's not right. You see what I'm saying? They will come and mess with you. They don't want you saying nothing about trying to expose nothing, no truth, no nothing. They ain't trying to hear that. If you do that, your channel immediately coming down. They will put a strike on it. You won't be able to do videos on that channel. They will disable you from posting a video, and they will disable you from going live. You can't say nothing that's true. You got to come up with all lies. That's a shame. And then they want to say, oh, freedom of speech. This ain't nothing about no freedom of no speech. Not for no black man. That's a shame. This is crazy. You're not even allowed to say what's need to be said or the truth. If not, they're gonna come in and they're gonna shut you down. This is a shame. This is a shame. This is a shame. It's crazy. When did I create this? Join April the 3rd, 2020. So it's just 10 now. So the channel has been up just, let's see here. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10. It's been up 7 days. This is crazy though. You can't even say what you want to say. And it's another thing I want to say. this is going to be going to the so-called Christians in the Christian church. You know how some people say, baby, the Lord showed me this and the Lord showed me that. Although they could be telling the truth. But then again, if they are so God sent and they are so God's prophets or whatever, so-called whatever, why is it that they don't follow? Why is it that do they disregard the Bible? Why is it that they disregard the Bible? That's what I want to know. Why is it that most people disregard the 613 commandments of God's law? Why is it? Why is that? The Jewish, they got Jewish. This is a damn thing. Jewish just means to pertain to. The Jewish tradition that there are 613 commandments in the Hebrew. Monorizing, trying to mavot, or mavot in the Torah, also known as the Law of Moses, beginning in the 3rd century CE, when the rabbi mentioning it in a sermon that is recorded in the Talmud, Marco, page 223. I don't know what that is. Although there had been a lot of attempts to conify and emirate the commandments containing in the Torah meaning the law. The most traditional enumeration of the 613 commandments, including the positive commandments to perform an act of mavot, and negative commandments to abstain from certain acts. Mavot to tase the negative commandments. Number 365, which concludes coincides with the number of days in the solar year. And the positive commandments, number 248, a number ascribed to numbers of bones and the main organs in the human body. Though the number 613 is mentioned in the Talmud, is real significant increasing a letter medieval rabbinical literature, including many works listed or arranged by the Mavot. These types of negative commandments fall under the self-sacrificial principles and the meaning one should let oneself be killed rather than violate it. These are a murderer, adultery, forbidden sexual relations. The 613 Mavot has been divided also into 3 general categories. Mishpatim, and I don't even know what the hell this is here. Starts with a C. Laws including commandments that are deemed to be self-evident, such as not to murder, not to steal, testimonies, commemorating important events. I'm gonna have to take time and just go over some of these words here, because when I'm reading, I want to make sure that I'm reading them correctly and right. You see what I'm saying? But what I can talk about, I want to talk about this here. Yeah, but anyway, a lot of people will sit up there and say, you better not mess with me, or you better not talk to your mother in any kind of way, or you better not do this here. You know, God will put some, you can't mess with a child of God. You can't do that. They'll use all of that for some kind of manipulation. And then when you don't want to hear the nonsense they're talking about, then they'll sit up there and say, you think you know everything and you don't want to listen. When you in essence trying to prove it to them, and you know what they're doing? They talking all over what the fuck you saying. They're gonna sit right there and they're gonna try to overtalk what the fuck you're saying. That's how you know what you're saying is real. But they don't want to hear. You know what? They so stuck on, well, I don't have to read that. I use common sense. But let me show them what they God say. Since you want to throw that out and do that, and speak that fucking ignorance the way people do. I want to show them this here. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth. The Bible says there's a blessed is he that readeth. A lot of people be talking about like, for example, you say, how you doing today? And the other person will be like, I'm blessed. Oh, I'm blessed. I'm better than blessed. Okay, this is the next question that you would ask. What does it mean to be blessed? You see what I'm saying? What does it mean to be blessed? According to God, he said, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, of this book, the prophecy, and keepeth those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. I don't care what the hell you say. The Most High says, blessed is he that readeth. So it's a blessing in reading the Revelation. It's a blessing in reading the Bible. But man will come along and tell you, don't do it. Because last I checked, these apostles during the 1300 AD, they was reading. They was reading out of the scrolls. They was reading the Bible. Let me just give you another example of what I'm talking about. Revelation chapter 10 and verse 10. The Bible says, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand. Now, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it where? In a book, right? Now, I'm literally reading this out the Bible, the King James, the KJV Bible. It says, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth, sweet as honey. And as soon as I have eaten it, my belly was bitter. See, a lot of times what this is talking about is, a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. When you read it out the Bible, they don't want to hear it because it's bitter. The truth cuts them like a two-edged sword. It cuts them. They don't want to have nothing to do with this Bible. They don't want to have nothing to do with the word at all. You read it to them, they're going to say, oh, I got a personal relationship with the Lord. Well, if you got such a person, there is no such thing as a personal relationship with God. God's relationship is not secret. That's like you saying, I got a secret relationship with the God. Well, what is your secret relationship with the Lord? Because if you all on one accord, if we on the same page, there is no secret to nobody worshiping the Most High God. There is no secret in doing it, right? All right, let me give you another example of people sitting up there telling you, I'm blessed. I'm blessed better than blessed. Why is that these so-called ministers ain't quoting this here? God ain't gonna let nothing happen to me for trying to tell your ass the truth. God is not gonna do that. God, that if you're saying that, that means you defeating your own purpose. Now let me read this here. Revelation, and go read, I'm gonna quote it, and that way y'all won't say I made this up at all. Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments. That's what I read in the Bible. It ain't saying what the hell you wanted to say. You said, well, I use common sense. I don't have to read a book. Well, what did the Bible say? Blessed are they that do his commandments. Right? So who's lying? Is it me or I'm not lying to you. Is it me or is it you or is the Bible? I'm not lying to you. I'm literally reading it to you out the Bible. Then they'll tell you, you don't have to follow the commandments and all of those stupid shit. Just coming up with some shit that don't even make no fucking sense at all. And this is what these Christian ass pastors do. Now, I don't know if they're going to try to put try to come and try to do something to my channel because I'm saying what I'm saying. I don't know. But it's the truth. The most important thing is I'm not going to be sitting up and look, let me tell y'all something. I'm not going to be sitting up and lying to people. I'm not with that. I'm not with that BS game. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell the truth. And the right thing is to do is to tell the truth. Now, if you want me to sit up here and lie to you, you might as well go and play with you some jokes. Because I'm going to tell the truth. The Bible says, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have a right to the tree of life and may enter into the gates into the city. That's the only way you're going to get into the gates. That's the only way you're going to get them gates. You got to be keeping the 613 commandments of the Most High God. You're not going to get in there on your own. It's not just 10. It's 613. The beard. What else? Homosexuality. That's not in the 10 commandments. It didn't say thou shalt not be a homosexual. Well, of course, the Most High said you can't get into the kingdom if you don't keep his commandments. Come on, people. Come on, YouTube. Come on now, YouTube. Come on now. The people that own YouTube, the so-called white men, this is the Bible. People want you to go against the God. What sense does that? I'm like, go against God. What kind of sense does that make? The God of Israel, the one that created the universe? Come on, people. Ain't y'all smarter than that? For without dogs and sorcerers, that's witchcraft, and whoremongers, and murderers, and adulterers, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. The Most High says, look, he said, whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Whosoever love making up lies, or whosoever love lying. The Most High said, you ain't gonna make it into the kingdom. He said, blessed are they that do his commandments. People say, I'm blessed. Some people will tell you, I'm better than blessed. What do you mean by being better than blessed? Better than blessed? That's like me saying, I'm better than God. I'd be afraid to even say, it's even sketchy for me to even say that. Do people not know what they're saying? I want somebody to put it in the comment section and tell me, what does better than blessed mean? Think about it. What does better than blessed? What do they mean? Better? There is nothing better than the Most High God. From what, if I'm misunderstanding. Now, if I'm misunderstanding, you can put it in the comment section for me. If I'm just break that down for me and tell me what you think they mean when people say better than blessed. Let me see if I can Google that up. What does it mean to be better than blessed? What is the difference between lucky and blessed? Meaning that lucky means it's just, I don't know. You can't get around it. Like me, I'm even trying to have a hard time trying to say, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Better. What can be better than a blessing? Unless they mean there is nothing that is better but a blessing. There's nothing better than that. That might be what they mean. There's nothing better. There's nothing else better or that can beat the word blessing. There is no, maybe they should have made the song like that. Maybe, and this is not me criticizing the people that actually created this. You see what I'm saying? Maybe they should have put, there is nothing else that would be better at all. Then this blessing is better than this. That's the only way I can see to interpret it. Okay. Every so often, I came across Facebook status from someone saying that they are blessed. I am blessed. You are blessed. It's a blessing. Usually, if I know them, I will. I will. I can't help but think about the fact that they say this despite the recent inconvenience and sometimes hardships they face prior to that statement. How can they say they are well off when they are not actually well off, even by their own standards? That's true. How can you go around and say that you are well off, but you're not well off? I am well off, better than well off. I am well off, but better than well off. It's either you well off or you're not better than, or you're not well off. There's no such thing to me as being I'm well off, but I'm better than well off. In a way, if you know what I mean, like it's either one, you're better off. Better off doing what? Or you can say I'm better off with this one because the one this one here is better than this one. But the word better than blessed, if you say better than blessed, you putting God under a back burner. From what I see, there is nothing. Think about it now. I want y'all to think about that. Oh, I'm better than I am in God, and I'm better than God. No, you can't be better than God. And I'm just trying to use paraphrases, or I'm just trying to like break this word down. If that made sense, what I said, put it in the comment section. But a lot of people would turn around and use things like God show me things. Just because God give me visions and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't mean that I can consider it. The only thing that makes you a child of God is that you have to think about it. You can see things, but the Most High said, whosoever doeth the will of my Father, the same is my brother, my mother, and my sister. He says it's going to be those that keep the commandments. There's a difference in between just me sitting up and talking about it. I have to put actions behind it. Okay. Name all of the 613 commandments.
Here is information from the 613commandments.com.
(613 commandments). Let's see here. A list of the 613 Mavot commandments. The Torah, I don't know how to say that, Mishneh Torah, but I have consulted another source as well, as I said in the page of, I don't even know what that is, y'all. I'm gonna have to come back and just look these words over. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's go to what's that one? Um, oh yeah, I want to talk about the 80 books that was moved from the KJV Bible. How many books of the Bible was moved from the KJV?
Here's a summary from Quora. The King James Bible was written in 1611 and returned it to the original 66 books.
Does the King James have all the books? No, it doesn't. I can hear the answer. There are 80 books in the King James Bible, 39 in the Old Testament, and 14 in the Apocrypha, and 27 in the New Testament. The Vulgate followed the Septuagint number, while the King James Version followed the numbering of the Messianic text. What are the 14 books removed from the Bible? These books, including the Tobiah, Judah, addition to the book of Esther, the Wisdom of Solomon, Ecclesiastes, Brunch, Song of Three Children, Story of Sanan, Baal, and the Dagon, the Dagon prayer of the what's that? Maccabees and Maccabees 1 and Maccabees 2. Luther removed Esdras, first Esdras and second Esdras altogether. What books were removed from the Bible and why? Where might I find? What books were removed from the Bible? And why might I find them? Can you learn about Jesus by reading the Book of Mormon? Hell no. What books were removed from the Bible? The Bible has a long history and much water passed under bridge, but know that the Bible in its present form is complete. No book of the Bible is missing or lost, meaning that no matter what man do, they still there. These so-called lost books were not included in the Bible for several reasons. They lack apostolic or prophetic authorship. They did not claim to be the Word of God. They contain unbiblical concepts such as prayer for the dead in 2 Maccabees 12:45 through 46, or have some serious historical inaccuracies. These books were never authoritated. These books was never authoritative, inspired of authenticity, written by either the Jews. Now they saying the Jewish prophets, but that's true, the Jews, not Jewish. Jewish means is to pertain to. The prophets are the Christian apostles. Nevertheless, in spite of these problems, the Roman Catholic Church has added certain books to the canon of Scripture in 1546, largely due in response to the Reformation, the Roman Catholic Church. The King James Version or simply the Authorized Version, the AV, is an English translation of the Christian Bible for the Church of England. Okay, now the Christian, the word Christian, that's where Christianity comes from, was commissioned in 1603 and completed as well as published in 1611 under the sponsorships of James VI. The books of the King James Version, including the 39 books of the Old Testament, entered the intertestamental section containing 14 books of the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha means the hidden books. That's what the Apocrypha means. And the 27 books of the New Testament noted for its majesty of style. The King James Version has been described as one of the most important books in English culture and a driving force in shaping of the English-speaking word. It was first printed by John Norton, a Robert Baker, both the King's printer, and was the third translation into English, approved by the English church authorities. The first had been the Great Bible Commission in the region of King Henry the 8, 1535, and the second had been the Bishop's Bible Commission, the reign of Queen Elizabeth in 1568, and Geneva Swiftland, the first generation of Protestant reformers, had produced the Geneva Bible, the Genevan Bible of 1560 from the original Hebrew and Greek. Okay, let's read that again. And the Geneva Swiftland, the first generation of the Protestant reformers, had produced the Geneva Bible of 1560 from the original Hebrew. It was stripped from the original Hebrew and Greek scriptures, which was influential in the writings of the Authorized King James Version. See, the Bible was translated from Hebrew to Greek to Latin. That's what happened. The Bible was translated from Hebrew, Greek. It was translated into the Greek language. And the reason why it was translated into the Greek's language is because that's when the children of Israel got stripped of their language, their inheritance, and everything. Let me show you that in Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And this is the reason why a lot of people don't know, is because a lot of our people don't like to read. Let me show you something. The Bible we were stripped of our language, our inheritance. And that's why Jeremiah 17 and 4, it says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy inheritance that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So the Most High said we could discontinue. We lost who we were as a people. That's why we call ourselves African American, is because we don't understand where the name African American originated from. In January 1604, King James convinced Hampton Court Conference, where a New English version was conceived in response to the problems of the earlier translation perceived by the penitents, a faction of the Church of England. James gave the translators instructions intended to ensure that the new version would conform to the ecclesiological, reflecting the Episcopalian structure of the Church of England. It had its belief in ordained clergy. The translation was done by 6 panels of translators, 47 men in all, of most of whom were leading biblical scholars, England, who had work divided up between them. The Old Testament was entrusted to 3 panels, the New Testament to 2, and the Apocrypha, meaning the hidden books, to 1. In common with most other translators of the period of the New Testament, was translated from Greek, the Old Testament from Hebrew, and Aramaic. I think they say Aramaic is the original language. And the Apocrypha, that means the hidden books, from the Greek and Latin. That's what I was just talking about, Latin. And the Book of Common Prayer, 1662. In 1662, the text of the authorized version replaced the text of the great Bible for epistles and the gospel readings, but not for the pastor, which substantially retaining the Coverdale Great Bible Version, and as such was authorized by Act of the Parliament. I don't even know how to say that, y'all. But have you noticed that a lot of what I was reading here, it was talking about how the Bible was translated from the Hebrew to Greek, from Greek to Latin to Aramaic. You see what I'm saying? So it was James gave the translators instructions intending to ensure that the new version would conform to the ecclesiological the reflected Episcopalian structure of the Church of England. Now that's where the Baptist Church actually started in England too, and its belief in an ordained clergy. The translation was done by 6 panels of translators, 47 men in all, most of whom were leading biblical scholars in England, who had the work divided up between them. The Old Testament was entrusted to 3 panels, the New Testament to 2, the Apocrypha to 1. In common with most other translators of the period, the New Testament was translated from Greek, the Old Testament from Hebrew and Aramaic. and Apocrypha, meaning the hidden books, from Greek and Latin in the Book of Common Prayer, 1662. The text of the authorized version replaced the text of the Great Bible for epistle and gospel readings, but not for the plaster, which is substantially retain Coverdale Great Bible Version, as such was authorized by Act of Parliament. Well, I didn't say that. By the first half of the 18th century, the authorized version had become effectively unchallenged, as the English translation used the Anglican and the English Protestant churches accepted for the Psalms some short passages in the Book of Common Prayer of the Church of England. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna read a little bit later on, probably tomorrow sometime. But historical sketch of the English translation of the Bible. Okay. So I don't know how I'm gonna sound in this reading, but hopefully it sounds okay. But there was 80 books removed from the Bible. It was 1st and 2nd Ezra, chapter 1, 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, and I believe it's 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, 4, and 2nd Ezra. It went on. Who is 2nd Ezra 1, 2, and 3, and 4? How many books were removed from the Bible?
According to Anon HQ, back then the Bible contained a total of 80 books, and the last 14 books, which today have been excluded, made up the end of the Old Testament and were as follows. 1 Esdras.
What are the 75 books removed from the Bible? What are the 75 books removed from the Bible? The Septuagints included all of the books of the Old Testament, as well as the following books: the Tobiah, Judah, and expanding version of Esther, Wisdom of Solomon, and Ecclesiastes, branch, letter to Jeremiah, and expand version of Daniel, with the prayer of Ezra and Sanan, Baal, and the Dargon, Maccabees 1 and Maccabees 2. Maccabees 1, 2. They removed. Why did Martin Luther remove 7 books from the Bible? He actually removed or attempted to remove more than just 7. He was determined to make the Bible fit his theology, even if that removed books from the New Testament. He decided to take out Hebrews, James, and Judah and Revelation, because they didn't fit his teachings of saved by faith alone without works. Okay, why did Martin Luther remove 7 books from the Bible? He actually removed or attempted to remove more than just 7. He was determined to make the Bible fit his theology, even if that removed books from the New Testament. He decided to take out Hebrews, James, and Judah and Revelation, because they didn't fit his teachings, are saved by faith alone without works. So from everything I read a lot here, so that alone within itself should help you understand the removing of the books from the Bible and where it started. So on that note, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I'm gonna say peace and love to my people of color. Hopefully y'all understood that. Hopefully it don't sound like you hearing me read this stuff, and you may hear some static in this video because they might blot out some of the words. But on that note, I'm gonna say peace and love to my people of color. Hopefully they don't try to say a copyright strike on this video. I'm out.